Hello and welcome to this week's This Week in 3D. I am, let's just get straight into it because there is loads. First up, Prusa leaks obvious fact and tells everyone to keep it secret. Okay, the headline here is that Printables have added statistics to their interface, which, look, here's mine. I have some statistics. I mean, if I ever make anything of value. This is big news for anyone who uses Printables because now you can actually see how many other people use your Printables. Get over there and have a look. While they were revealing this in their live stream, though, they happened to reveal tree supports, presumably accidentally on purpose because it was on the model they were showing. But to 12,000 people, and what's another 3,000 who will watch this? So I just want to put that out there. I called it, and now it's confirmed. So I got to tell you about the paint on cat faces coming to Cura next release. You can just paint cat faces onto any model. Legit, I've got my sources. This section is somehow called Why Has It Taken Me This Long to Discover OctoEverywhere? If you use Octoprint with any regularity, then you probably either have heard of OctoEverywhere or you absolutely need to. It's been on my radar for a couple of months now, but I spotted an announcement just as I was preparing this episode, and it was about a new functionality. As you can see, it's AI detection. So I had a chat with the developer about it. The AI detection is about to be released potentially within hours of this episode coming out, depending on how quickly I finish, and I've been playing with it already as I have a sneak preview because I get YouTuber perks, right? And I had some preliminary questions answered on how it detects failures. To give you the news version of that, which isn't particularly in depth, it continuously monitors the view on the camera and it looks for it changing in a way that doesn't look right, which is kind of mind-blowing really when you consider how different various prints can be, and also how different people's cameras can be set up. It already seems quite smart even now. It's had over 6 months of development from the one guy who makes it, including training data to this point, but I quote, "It is capable of processing 3 million images a day, and once released will continue to learn. As you can see, you can report missed failures," which I assume is the way to train the AI yourself. So it's going to improve not just as you use it, but as everyone uses it. I know there's other AI-based solutions out there, but there's plenty of room for another one, and this one is currently completely free, and the developer is very keen to keep it that way. Although you can support the project and raise limits on some functions that require servers. I can't believe the whole thing was created by one guy. I'm kind of kicking myself for dragging my feet on looking into it for this long. So don't be like me, check it out now, if not before. New machines this week, we have the Neptune 3 Pro, and yes, I've got one. I just showed it in the Octoprint section a moment ago if you were paying attention. If you're wondering why you haven't heard of it, it's because it hasn't actually been officially announced yet. It's not often I get to break the news about a printer, but this one I've been using for a few days now. I'm actually really digging it, but I'll save the shilling part for the review. It is very shiny though. Oh, and I've been told that the price is $230, by the way, in case you're wondering. But more on that when I do the review. It's still otherwise rather quiet on the machine front. I don't have any new machines that I can't even talk about at the moment, and Neptune 3 was the only outstanding secret pre-release one that I had. So I guess we'll talk about Filament instead. This was announced a few days ago from Fiberlogy, the almost unpronounceable company whose reels look like they fell out of Portal 2. Disappointingly, the cool look is purely aesthetic because the donuts just clip on, look. It'd be nice if it was cardboard, but PVB is a thing. It actually already exists. Anyway, I'll probably look into it at some point because it looks quite cool. It smooths like ABS, but with IPA instead of acetone. That will only really make sense to you if you're familiar with the process. It makes a compelling choice over ABS vapor smoothing because it's going to be a lot easier to use and a lot safer, potentially. I also found some PETG that looks almost exactly like chocolate, and I couldn't help buying it. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Anyway, it arrived, and here's some ice cream that I printed out. What do you think? I'll link it below in case you have any chocolate things that you need to print. While we're on the topic of new machines, it's absolutely not a new machine, quite the contrary, but if you have an Artillery Sidewinder X2, genius, that's a machine. I'm not being sarcastic for a change. If you have an Artillery Sidewinder X2 or a genius, then you'll probably want to get the new firmware that enables M600. M600 being filament change. I'm not sure why they're calling it colour change. But yeah, I thought I would drop that in because I know a lot of people, especially people viewing the channel, they do have artillery printers, self-included. If you don't and your M600 doesn't work, then consider building Marlin yourself, because what's the worst that can happen, right? G-Tech decides to sell suspiciously familiar leveling device. That was quite a mouthful. Okay, this has been dominating the 3D Twitter sphere for the last week. Authoritative YouTuber and subscriber to this channel, I think he still is, Chuck Hellybuck, aka Chep, noted publicly that one printer manufacturer known as G-Tech, who I'm sure we're all aware of on this channel, allegedly copied his design for the ever-popular bed leveling thingy. Now, I can't speak to the chances of whether they would organically arrive at the quite remarkably similar design by accident, but you can't deny the similarities, can you? I will say that, to my view, Chep's bed leveler is half of the available product when you buy one, the other half being Chuck himself, so I can't hugely understand why G-Tech, and also others it turns out, I can't understand why they would think they stand a chance of selling an equivalent product in enough numbers to make it worth the apparent ire that they have inspired on social media. I mean, if you need assistance leveling your bed and you don't want to buy a Chep leveling tool, then it is surely easier to just, follow one of Chep's many bed leveling tutorials using, the leveling template that he provided. I made a bed leveling template too. You can use that either. Neither of us charge for these. But anyway, this ties in with a wider discussion that we've all been grappling with on Twitter for a long while now, which is one of manufacturers kind of repeatedly shirking license compliance with slicers and Marlin firmware, among other things. If you want me to go into this, then let me know in the comments, and I'll consider whether I want to go down that rabbit hole. Yes, once again, I called it. Input shaping is here, although it's not here. But coding for input shaping is now in the current bug fix branch of Marlin, which means that hopefully we're going to be starting to see it in builds pretty soon. Again, you can make it yourself if you're so inclined. Will I cover it? I'm up to my neck with stuff at the moment, and there's more incoming, but if I get chance, then yes, I will. That's probably enough news for this week, a week being the amount of time specified by the distance between the last episode and this episode. I will see you next time, and meanwhile go and watch my rambling episode on TPU. I'll even link it on the end screen. I hear that it's excellent to fall asleep to. Anyway, see you next time. I've got something really good coming up. Thank you for watching.